about the highest building in the entire world, excluding the Northern Hemisphere. And here it is, or rather the top of it. Gosh, that's jolly clever, isn't it? I wonder how they do things like that. This is the Rialto, Australia's new landmark. And I'm now standing 242 meters above Collins Street in the very heart of the most historic part of Melbourne's central business district. 242 meters, there you are, which is about 793 feet, or, to put it more simply, 124.39215 times taller than I am. So, it's jolly, jolly tall. Taller, in fact, than Collins Place, taller than Nauru House, taller even than the MLC building in Sydney, which makes it easy to see why Rialto will be the landmark Melbourne has been seeking for many years. And this is where the building will be in the CBD. The front door will open onto Collins Street, the back door onto Flinders Lane, and it'll be between King Street and William Street. So you're close to many city institutions and headquarters. BHP, Shell, National Mutual, the World Trade Center, AMP and City Mutual are all nearby. Still, you can't have everything. So let's hop down and take a more detailed look. Skyrise, high-rise, medium-rise, low-rise. Sorry. Well, there it is. There it is. Rialto, Australia's new landmark. 54 levels of the most outstanding, well-appointed and prestigious office accommodation in the world. It even has its own hotel down here in the old Rialto building. And not just any old rubbishy hotel either. No, this is a new and gracious international luxury hotel called the Menzies at Rialto. And it's right on your doorstep. So you'll be able to nip in there for a quick 3-hour meeting at round about lunchtime. And interstate minions or important Japanese clients won't be making apologies about getting lost in a taxi on the way to the meeting that you called because they'll already be there. Well, of course, everyone's beavering away feverishly in there at the moment, getting the hotel ready, so I can't actually take you inside, but to give you some idea of what it'll all look like, well, roughly anyway, I've had a rather nice little artist chap run up some rather nice little drawings. Here's a typical bedroom. Here's another one. A restaurant. And a sort of piazza between the old Rialto and the old Winfield buildings. There will be taverns, a nice watering hole in the York butter factory, and the old Rob's Annex will cater for the fast food fraternity. So, one way or another, you shouldn't go hungry. And if you feel like a kip in the afternoon, as a matter of fact, I wouldn't mind a lie down myself. Excuse me. No, you don't. Back in there. Oh, it's hard work, all this, you know. All right, work me to the bone. Come on, let's have a look at the shops. They're down here where you will be able to shop in a dozen bijou retail outlets. But what you want me to tell you about is the office accommodation. Well, as I've already told you, there are 54 levels and a total of 85,755 square meters of lettable floor space. In meaningful language, that's about 923,000 square feet. In the skyrise, the average floor area is about 11,000 square feet. The high-rise floors average about 20,000 square feet, and the medium and low-rise about 9,000 square feet. And if you don't understand that, then ask the real estate agent. You're probably wondering precisely how you are to avail yourself of access to these highly desirable accommodation facilities. Well, having left your vehicle in the capacious car below ground, where, incidentally, there's room for 690 vehicles, you take a lift direct from your parking level to your office level. Now, the remarkable thing about... What's the matter? Haven't you ever seen anyone traveling in a drawing of a lift before? Come on. Attention. There you go. Now, the remarkable thing is that this lift will whisk up and down at speeds of up to 7 miles per second. 7 miles per second? That's faster than Concorde. are 7 meters per second. Of course, yes, you don't have miles anymore, do you? And during the peak period, the longest that you should have to wait for a lift is 30 days. Seconds. Or, if you prefer to wait around, there are 2 huge goods lifts, which take a little longer. Oh, incidentally, supposing you wanted to come into work at 2:30 in the morning, how would you get in? Well, they're using a cunning automatic security system. It's all a bit hush-hush at the moment, but the real estate chappies will tell you all about it. Well, what an experience. Never traveled in a diagram before. So, here we are on a typical floor. Or rather, a drawing of a typical floor. Well, as you can see, it's big. There are no columns, so it's jolly flexible, and they're going to hold the grand final here next year. Now, in the corners, the ceilings have been very cunningly designed so that if you're an extremely important person, you can have 2 whole offices to yourself. Or the space can be divided up so that 2 mere VIPs can have a corner office each. More important than that, you'll be very pleased to know that the architects have made available a tea room facility which is situated in the core of every floor. And because they've built in something called a wet stack, sounds like a pile of soggy hay, doesn't it? Which is very flexible. You can change the plumbing to provide the facilities you need. In the washrooms, they've separated the hand basins from the loos so that people who go in there won't get too confused about what they went in there for. Thank you. I'm afraid I have to get a bit technical now. This way. Coming? Well, as you'd expect, Rialto is superbly air-conditioned, and I'll just give you the technical specifications. Thank you, Rita. The internal temperature and humidity will be 22.5 plus or minus 1.5 degrees Celsius dB, which in layman's terms is, of course, 2.5 degrees Fahrenheit plus or minus 2.7 degrees Fahrenheit dB, and I must emphasize this, 55% RH maximum. And of course the Karts and Temperatones merk the glucoses and overclollet the mergerchuses. Desta vidas crucibon and partavisa cruz together to mood sleva the underpedity, so 4th frame shows data vision and auditory slow perfection. So it'll be quite cool. And what's more, when you're working late at the office, I'm delighted to say that individual floors have their own after-hours air conditioning, which, of course, also saves you money. Now, well, that doesn't work, but you're not buying that. Then there's the lighting. Well, it's got things like polished aluminium ultra-low brightness parabolic louvers, which I like to call Paul Bupples for short. This is it, or them, or they. That is what they are, singly and individually. Now, as you'd expect, these Paul Bupples employ 2 by 36 watt energy-saving fluorescent tubes, which is perfectly acceptable to most normal people. But if you've got someone who is a bit dim, you can put in 3 by 36 watt tubes. So everybody should be happy. You know, one of the things that I myself like about the lighting is the in-ceiling cable loom system. What it means to you is that within limits, you can shift the lighting around very easily, even if you do come from Torak. And the air conditioning, too, because it's built into the Paul Bupples. Clever little devils, these Paul Bupples, are they? I do hope they catch on. Now, if you've got a computer and you need to add any extra cabling, you can do so later on without any difficulty at all. They put in special ducting to tidy up that little problem. And they haven't forgotten that our little friend, the computer, often expects to be pampered with extra special air conditioning all day and all night, most likely, so that it can go wrong in absolute luxury, you see. Now, what about finishes? Finishes. I should be down on the ground floor. Excuse me. Finishes. Well, they'll be the most attractive that you can find anywhere in the world. It says here. In the main foyer, you'll be surrounded by Australian marble. And throughout the building, you'll walk on 21 acres of specially designed and brilliantly laid carpet. That's about 4.5 times the size of the MCG. And in the lift lobbies, you'll have a chance to specify your own wall finishes, though they prefer you not to ask for Vegemite labels. Rialto is one of the most advanced and forward-looking buildings in Australia. Built by the Grollo Group, it will be truly superb. And they'll probably have it built before I finish this film. What's more, the owner will be living here, so the taps will work, the lights will go on and off, and the rent demands will be on time. So this is Rialto, 400,000 glistening, startling, crystal shimmering tons of it. The tallest building in the southern hemisphere, Australia's new landmark. May I just say most sincerely what a pleasure, a very, very real pleasure, and indeed a privilege it has been to be with you here today. It's been really super, and well, I'm a very sincere and deeply serious and cat-frighteningly warm human being, and I just want to say thank you. God bless you. Can I have the check now? Rialto is a joint venture of the St. Martin's Group in Australia and Grollo Australia Proprietary Limited. Leasing agents in conjunction, Richard Ellis Proprietary Limited and Jones Lang Wotton, produced by VTC Melbourne in conjunction with Bond Miles Coulter Advertising, Melbourne. Sorry, I knew there was something. I forgot to open the curtains. Sorry about that. There we are.